She broke my heart, man. I don't know if I'll be able to move on. We were so close. 4 years offered to be destroyed when she cheated.
Hollywood ass breakup reaction. Go ahead, get up and slide out of here in your tears, lover boy. No one cares. Wait, you're a man and you're crying? Dude, are you crying? You're trying to be in a Nicholas Sparks. Stop crying, stop crying, stop crying. Bro, you're not in the notebook, man. Remember this. You're cringe until you make it. Have you ever felt and expressed genuine human emotion? You have? You're probably a complete loser. So cringe of you to actually be serious about anything ever. Well, actually, it's quite important to be serious about— Bro, shut up with your genuine arse, man. Where you actually care about things? Look at this idiot, bro, how cringe. My entire life, why do people love to brand things as cringe? Like, yeah, there's obviously a baseline for what cringe is, and what people generally find cringe.
Dare to face the fury of the heart.
Dare to face the fury of the heart. Dare to face the fury of the heart.
But it's not always been this way. What is cringe, and where did it come from? If you ever went to school, you would have went to school. You were probably called cringe for doing something at some point. Unless you're some stone cold emotionless autist. Now, I'm not talking about being called cringe because you did something like singing for your crush. Thought you were an anime character.
Midoriya, Todoroki, Midoriya.
Or roleplayed as a wolf at school or something like that. I mean a situation where you were trying to be a genuine person or authentic about something, and you got verbally violated for it. Whether it was something like being honest with how you felt, an idea you had about something, or a goal you intended to achieve, you were probably mocked for something, as it's just part of maturing. In the UK, or at least where I live in the UK, being cringe was the ultimate crime, and being labelled as cringe was the equivalent of capital punishment for your reputation. I remember once I got mocked for being cringe when I was 13 because I was trying to explain how being called racial slurs made me feel to the people who called me them. Like, what sort of backwards logic is that, bro? I know kids are evil, but like, it's literally sounding like some Dr. Doofenshmirtz's backstory with how tragic that sounds. I live in like a crazy white area as well. Like, in my school there's probably sub 10 non-white people, which is crazy. I just got violated for nothing. But it's pretty clear my school had some questionable bad actors, as children and teenagers are pretty detached from being reasonable people, as their brains turn into hormone soup for a while. But whilst my harrowing story of racism, combined with a generic evil-ass cartoon villain backstory is funny, it was normal to joke or insult each other about anything in school. Like, bro, there were no limits, and I mean no limits. The idea of cringe has only existed quite recently, in the late 20th century. It became normal to use cringe to describe a physical or emotional reaction to something awkward or embarrassing that made you feel uncomfortable. For example, seeing someone being rejected whilst proposing fits into this definition. But as the internet has progressed and slowly caused humanity to devolve into angry clans of chimps again, cringe has transformed over time. With the rise of the internet in the early 2000s and video sharing sites, cringe became a new genre of comedy.
So I thought I would just try to cheer myself up by being a little bit silly.
It mostly included mocking socially inept or unaware people, mostly undeservingly, for having strange hobbies or doing embarrassing stuff, like writing Sonic fanfiction of a girl you met a week ago, then sending it directly to her, or maybe filming yourself drinking Fanta and mixed together. If you don't know already, I'm talking about Chris Chan, as he is a prime example of this type of cringe. Chris Chan is still on his reign of terror today and still gets mocked about new things he does now. Another good example are bronies, as they were pretty significant on the internet in like the late 2000s. Basically, anyone who was online and also vulnerable would be mocked. They were the canaries in the cringe coal mines, as they were seen as complete losers and acted overly enthusiastic or socially out of touch in recorded interactions. This was all about 14 plus years ago, before Chris Chan crashed out on his own mother suffering from dementia. Internet trolls would essentially pick on people who were not socially competent, which is the same thing that happens today.
How you doing?
Hello friends,
This is not a voiceover to censor someone yelling the N-word. Have a good day.
An easy example today is Daniel Larson. Whilst being a pretty bad person and doing a lot of questionable things,
Time to play the game.
he's still undeserving to have his life completely ruined just because people find it funny to mock him. I got a crazy hot take. It's probably immoral to bully the disabled and homeless in real life. I know, it's really controversial. I know it's a bit crazy to say. In the mid-2010s, cringe became a popular trend because of internet terrorists like Leafy is Here and Keemstar. These two started to label anything deemed awkward or overly sincere as cringe. In 2016, everyone was on demon time, like anyone could get it for doing anything. Whenever you see genuine remarks or serious discourse happening online, it's common to see it just become a battle to label the other person cringe to win the argument. In reality, there are very, very few places on the internet you should take things seriously from.
You know they eat babies, that is not bull. It's true. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood.
But at the same time, it's always disappointing to see when someone has a genuine argument, just to get publicly humiliated by someone putting the nerd emoji. Or when you see a serious argument that's been put into the Chad vs Virgin meme format. This is primarily an issue with political stuff. As for apolitical and younger people, they will be drawn to the side that's more entertaining. Very few young people care about actual policies or ideologies. They just want entertainment, and once they're pulled into a certain side, they're like a sponge in water, and their views can be radicalized with like pro-Z propaganda, for example. So thanks, Leafy, for making it cringe to dislike being called the N-word. I'm light-skinned anyway, bro, but still. Since that day, I've been mad as f***, and planning to build a giant hammer launcher in Nowhere Evil Incorporated to level cities with, as my revenge. Concluding everything above, the internet, again, contributed to a negative action that is now commonplace amongst society, which is not surprising at all. But why do you feel cringe? It's subjective, as it all comes from your own understanding of what is and isn't socially acceptable. Labeling something as cringe is your own internal way of reasoning what is and isn't socially acceptable, awkward, or embarrassing. To clarify, I mean socially acceptable as in singing in a waiting room, not something like jerking your to random people on a train. As teenagers are dumb as and mentally deficient, they don't understand what is okay in the real world, and they're also hyper aware of trying to fit in and not stand out, so they will be naturally more critical of calling things cringe. This is why as you get older, you realise loads of stuff you once thought was cringe is no longer cringe, like showing genuine emotion, or dancing in public places. Some things from when I was a teenager will still make me cringe now though. Like if I were to go back and watch old PewDiePie videos where he was screaming at imaginary characters, or old Smosh videos, I'd be fighting for my life to try not have a stroke from cringe. Cringe can be damaging sometimes. Whilst labeling stuff as cringe is mostly understandable, there is an obvious overuse of it that is probably damaging, as I imagine a lot of people have been in similar situations to me where you cannot address a problem without causing more problems for yourself. As time goes on, I think more and more people are realising it's healthy to express your emotions and talk through problems, no matter how small they are. Gen Z are big on staying mentally healthy, so hopefully being open and genuine about things becomes more commonplace with time, which it is. If you're surrounded by people that don't actually care about you, just cut them off. Put yourself first, Brody, and you'll be happier long term. Additionally, cringe is damaging as it limits your potential due to the fear of social rejection. Pursuing anything outside of regular work is seen as cringe. If you're trying to become a musician, or an actor, or a YouTuber, or pursuing anything along these sort of lines, people see it as cringe. But it's cringe until you make it. Most people start on the bottom, pause, unless you're a nepo baby and very lucky. I don't understand why people are so scared of being singled out as cringe that they lose the drive to pursue their interests or life goals. Speaking from experience, when I started making videos and speaking into a microphone, like I'm doing right now, it unsurprisingly felt cringe. but how else am I going to achieve anything? To me personally, it stopped being cringe after doing it a couple times, and now it's just a normal thing I do. Sure, my video quality isn't the best, there's obviously a million other YouTubers who make better things than me, but it takes time. People love to project their own negativity onto you as you're doing the work they are too lazy to put in. Just imagine the amount of good ideas that have been stifled by other people's negative input. Bro, that's actual plankton behaviour. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Again, I'm on my old Sneeko motivational shit right now. Trying doesn't mean you will succeed, but never trying means you'll never succeed. Like Michael Jordan once said, "Daddy, I'm coming." Wrong quote. Mind the words you speak. Change your mindset and the rest shall follow. Operating in fear can prevent a person from living their dream life. Tight shit, Jordan. I feel like this video was a bit ironic, as it wasn't really cringe, but the message was that cringe doesn't matter. I don't know, it doesn't matter, I don't care. Hopefully you just took something useful from it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.